Welcome to SCN Corporate Connect. I'm Jane King, and with me today, Jeremiah Schnee, the founder of the Wealth and Values Initiative, and usually we're at the NASDAQ, but here we are at this wonderful New York party with great artwork, so nice to see you there.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
So let's start with what your group is doing. I know you've been doing some work with ICOs, initial coin offerings. Tell me about that.
Yes. I've been very appreciative of Hugh's guidance in that area. We have some raving fanatics within our family office group. As you remember, we have about 700 families that follow us, and we do success to significance, which is to give back. We have a next-gen program, and then we also have a deal club or a co-investment forum. So in that co-investment forum, there's a core group of people that are very passionate about that, and they're sort of early adopters, and so the word is sort of spreading to the rest of them.
Okay. What do you think about ICOs? I mean, a year ago, I hadn't heard of them, and then all of a sudden, hottest thing. So what's your take on the whole industry?
You know, I told you a little earlier, I tend to be a little left brain, right brain, so the cautious side of me is like, well, look before you leap, but that's what I said about the internet.
Yeah.
You know, the other part of it, I was at a luncheon today with one of the people that advises one of my families, who spoke to about 50 people. It's huge interest. And basically his bottom line was, hey, this is the biggest thing that has ever happened to humanity. And I went, are you really saying that? Yes. And that's what he said. He said, it's bigger than the internet. Yes, there are going to be hiccups, just as there was with the internet, just as there was with Amazon. But when I step back and look at this, he said, I think it's just basically transformational on many, many levels into the distant future.
Was he talking about the blockchain technology that is behind Bitcoin and the cyber currencies? Or like what specifically led him to make such a statement like that?
Yes, good question. I think it was the blockchain, because his point was, everybody thinks Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is like Amazon. It's a very successful but individual entity. I'm looking at the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
So based on blockchain and the ability to sort of the impact of decentralization and direct verification, his view is it will remove middlemen from banking across to every field you can imagine.
Just the transparency that it gives. It is transformational, you know, that's amazing. So you just got back from China.
Yes.
You have like a headline, and then let's dig a little deeper into that trip.
I guess the headline in China is that, you know, the giant is awakening. I was asked and retained to speak to 100 legacy families who have family offices. Well, I was there 2 years ago on our Next Gen program, where we brought together young Chinese from legacy families and their American counterparts. When you said family office, they went, well, we get family business and we know there are offices, but what's the connection? Now it's like we've adopted it, and what are the best practices that are transferable? So I gave a keynote speech. It was high impact, and this was in a third-tier city, which is Ningbo, 7 million people, which is the size of New York.
Yeah.
So the scale is staggering.
Yeah, the population is unbelievable. It's hard to get your head around it.
It is.
In China. Now, okay, so did you feel like you know, there was a lot of excitement about China, then they're kind of slowed down a little bit? I mean, you feel like China still has a long way to go for the upside?
I was on a bullet train for 2.5 hours from Shanghai to Ningbo. And I pulled out some renminbi to pay the vendor that was coming through with food. They looked at me like, what's that? It's a QR code, and you pull out your cell phone. So that to me is a paradigm for the fact that it isn't just about size anymore. It's really about level of development. They are moving quickly. There's a great deal of momentum. The culture is very entrepreneurial at a base level. I won't go into the top-down stuff because we don't want to get into politics right now. But I think my sense is that they are really moving quickly. So when you hear that they are sort of slowing down, maybe they are from a macroeconomic point of view, but I just think that their sophistication level is at a curve like this, and coupled with the size and the wealth creation, It's formidable. Now, there are many obstacles, culturally, politically, and other, and we can talk about that maybe another time. But I do believe that between the U.S. and China, that's kind of the future.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you so much, Jeremiah, for coming and sharing all your thoughts. So come back soon, because you always have some interesting insights.
Always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah Schnee, and thank you as well for joining us on SCN Corporate Connect.